breasts. What a way to start a video. Episode 3, and because I'm filming this before I've made the title, I'm sorry. We don't know what the title is yet. Dave's arrived, Aussie Dave has arrived back into Pattaya. Another 6-month spell. Giab, his girlfriend, they get along great. Perfect match. I just can't believe how lucky he is that he walked into the go-go bar and went, you, and they've hit it off. So he's back for 6 months. She's had a nose job. Straight back into their routine. They're in the morning, swim, massage, both of them, breakfast. And they tend to sort of kick around in the days and drink a lot, eat a lot. Gym for Dave, he used to go to the gym. Giab went with him. And that was on Second Road at a big hotel towards Walking Street, where he got a membership sorted. So nice gym. Things just carried on. He was still looking, and iron. He was still coming into my bar every single day, whether it be morning, lunchtime or evening, or even all three. He was a great customer. Spent a lot of money in the bar. He wasn't extravagant. He wasn't one of those guys that just threw his money around. He wouldn't be keep ringing the bell. He'd buy me a drink. He'd buy a couple of people he was chatting to a drink, you know, but he wasn't throwing his money about. He didn't come across as arrogant and rich and that sort. Really just a lovely guy. Great business head. And again, he helped me so many things, ideas. Now, I remember this really well. In the bar, in the evening, maybe about 8 o'clock, probably about 10 customers in the bar, plus Dave and Giab came in, and we got onto the subject of Giab's breasts. Now, Dave was about 35 years old. I don't think I ever asked him, but he was about 35. Giab was, I'd say, 27, 26, 27. She had a great figure. Now, Giab had said to Dave that she felt that her breasts were heading south, let's say. They were moving downwards slightly. And I was sat at a round table. These are high tables, so you're sort of on a stool. Dave in front of me, Giab next to me, and I think Frozen was with us chatting and drinking. We started talking about Giab's breasts. At this point, Dave said that Giab felt that maybe she needed some sort of cosmetic surgery on them, and he would like it also. And Giab lifted her shirts up, her blouse shirt up, to reveal to everyone in the bar her breasts. She then stood up, showing everybody, and Dave asked me, and I think even Frozen, to feel the weight of her breasts and the shape and what we thought, whether surgery would be good. It was sort of embarrassing. Your friend is, well, you can understand it. Anyway, so I participated. Frozen did as well. And then one of my girls, and I can't remember which one, who had a breast implant. Was it Ruthless? I can't remember. Came across and lifted her top up, which was the first time I'd seen this. So there I was in a bar, Giab topless, one of my the girls in the bar also topless, who'd had, and then was asking Dave to feel, and Frozen and me, and it was like one of the most weirdest conversations I'd ever had in a bar in my life. But we participated and we were comparing and everything, and the conclusion was put the shirts down eventually. Dave bought this, I think it was Ruthless, bought her a drink. She joined us, and they came to the conclusion that yes, Giab needed a breast. It wasn't enlargement, size wasn't the problem, but it was firming them up. I'm making a YouTube video about breast enlargement. Oh, what am I doing? But anyway, firming, he thought that she wanted them firming up. More cosmetic surgery. Now, according to the girls in the bar, back then, 15 years ago, you could get the enlargement or firming up or whatever you want to call it. It was about for $600, $500, $600 American dollars. But no, not Dave. He'd only been back a few weeks. That was it. Off they went to Bangkok. Yep. Best hospital in Thailand. Still can't remember the name of it. And they decided, which afterwards I learned, to slightly enlarge and to firm up and all the rest of it. He paid about 3,000 American dollars, way more than anywhere else, but yep, paid. Again, they stayed up there. They actually stayed they went off, I think, Phuket or somewhere, had a few weeks before they came back. So it was maybe nearly a month by the time they came back. And they came back, all had healed, and yes, it was actually lunchtime, so no customers, maybe one customer. In they come, happy to see each other. We were all sort of chatting away, and immediately, yep, up comes the shirt from Giab. Have a look, Simon, have a feel. Oh dear. Yep, had them done. Slightly larger, firmer. She was very happy. So now the nose had been done, which I don't think was an improvement, and now she'd had the breast done. What could be next? You know, not much left, surely. There we go, breast done. Now Dave decided on this trip that he wasn't going to get a bar. He'd looked, he'd seen mine, he'd seen all the numbers, he'd seen the prices, all the key money and everything. There's not money in it. There was not money in it. Not enough for him to spend his time doing bar in Thailand. So he came to that conclusion and said, I'm not going to do it. He decided that he's going to have a look around Thailand. It was time for a road trip. And he'd already paid the hotel for this 6 months. But he was just going to go off. And he took Giab for the remainder of that 6 months, all around Thailand. Off they went, and they'd come back and go and come back. And he'd drop into the bar now and then. And then he, in the last month, said that he was taking Giab to Australia with him for 3 months. Again, it was only a 3 month trip back there, then he'd be back again. But this time he was taking Giab with him, which was great. And he went Bangkok, got a lawyer, didn't muck around, straight to a lawyer to sort out all the stuff he needed for visas. And because of his background and money, it was just a tourist visa. He had no problem. Immediately got a visa for her. 6 months finished, off they went, Australia. Giab was over the moon. Fantastic. They went Australia, 3 months. Are they in love? I don't know. Still don't know at this point whether they've fallen in love. They spend everything 24 hours together every day, pretty much. But such a great couple. He was beginning to teach Giab a business sense. Her English, she was still learning English, was getting better and better and better. Really remarkable watching someone learn your language from not knowing a thing. But he was paying for a good teacher to teach her, so she was learning business, his business, what he does. Had a great time in Australia, and they reappeared. Back to the same hotel, I'm sure it was a Sabai Lodge. Got the same room. He was back again for 6 months. Paid again, straight out for the 6 months. But he was going to do some travelling again. But he's paying for that room, and he's not going to sleep in it. That to me was a bit mad, but he did. Paid 6 months up. Put all his stuff there. All Giab's stuff there. Everything sorted. But this time, Giab on the return seemed to step up the ladder in society. She had changed slightly on this next visit. As if she realised now that she was in a relationship. He's given her money, he's putting money in her bank. She must have been sending money to her family. Putting lots of money in her bank. Buying her beautiful clothes, buying her everything, jewellery, gold. More sunglasses for her enhanced nose. Yeah, she did seem to change slightly. And this is the point, I would say their relationship changed. Well, they were still getting on great, but to me it changed because he had changed her. He had taken her up market, and she had slightly changed. On returning, so they're back in Pattaya, they come to my bar, just the way she walked in, the way she held her frame and talked, it was different. But he was over the moon with her. He'd got a lot of friends now in Pattaya. He'd met loads of people and was floating around different bars. And he said to me, whilst they were in Australia, that Giab felt that she wasn't beautiful. Now, why he didn't just say to her, "You are beautiful, stunning, absolutely lovely. You don't need to change a thing." What would a woman change after? She's done the nose, done the breasts, her body looked great. She'd never had kids. She was stunning. For some reason though, she thought she wasn't. And she wanted Botox. For some reason she wanted to just change her cheekbones slightly, and her chin wasn't the right shape, which would have meant surgery. And we were all sort of scratching our head. She doesn't really need it. And I said to Dave, she doesn't need it, she's a beautiful girl. And he said, well, she wants to have these things to make herself feel better. And if you build your own confidence up and you're happy with your body, he said, then I'm happy with her. He said, it'll look great. It'll just be perfect. 3 months into their 6 months trip, her decision was the Botox first. Again, Botox injections were pretty new back then, unless you were in the cosmetic surgery market. It was only really the rich that were playing with that sort of thing. So price wise, the girls didn't know, nobody knew. It was Bangkok, to that hospital again. She had to have injections. I'm not sure how it all works, but it was a few injections over a few weeks, then let it rest, and then more and more over the coming months. So she'd had some in just her cheeks here, over a few weeks. They stayed up in Bangkok, or maybe they wandered around, but I didn't see them again for a good 5-6 weeks. And then they appeared back in my bar. video, we'll talk about Botox. What a great storyline this is. See you soon.